Now, around this time of the semester, I start getting those emails. Hey, Dr. Maples, can you tell me more about incomplete or I grades? What is an incomplete grade? How does it function? Is this a good idea? And Dr. Maples, is this incomplete something that's gonna come back to haunt me in about 6 months? Well, I'm here today to tell you everything that you need to know about the incomplete or I grade, how they function, what it is, and if it's a good idea, because honestly, there's only some very specific situations where you should request that I grade. And I'm gonna tell you what those are. We got a lot to do today, folks, so let's get started. So incompletes can be requested when something extraordinary happens in the last month or so of the semester, and that event is going to prevent you from being able to finish the semester on time. This is something that is entirely up to the professor, so you want to spell out your case as to why you would request to have a little more time to finish the semester. Reasons that I have supported incomplete grades in the past include car accidents, family emergencies such as a death, hospitalizations, and unexpected evictions. Note that these are all pretty extreme situations, not my tire was flat on the way to the final. That's a very different email that you send where you ask for more time on the final. Now, incompletes really are extreme scenarios. Now, the professor can request them, but they're not automatically granted. It's really up to the university. And note that incompletes are for a specific course, not all your courses. As such, if you need multiple incompletes, you would need to talk to every one of your professors. And for each of those, you're going to sign a contract that spells out the details of your incomplete. It's going to include everything that you need to complete. It's going to include where you would get those assignments, the materials that you'll need, and most importantly, it's going to include a deadline that you have to meet to finish all these things. Now, for me, it's generally 6 months. That's generally what my university will support, and that's what I offer. Others, it might be weeks, it could even be days. So you really need to talk with your professor and see exactly how long this incomplete contract is going to last. Now, once that's signed, you'll turn that in, and you now ideally will go ahead and complete the requirements of your course. If you complete them, they'll be able to give you a better grade. If you don't, well, we'll get back to that in just a moment. Now, before we continue, could I ask a favor? Would you be willing to share this video or any of my videos on social media with your friends? I want to get the word about this channel out there so that we can help other students. And if you do that, let me know in the comments and I'll thank you personally. All right, let's get back to the video. So Dr. Maples, is an incomplete grade a good idea? I gotta be honest with y'all, I'm on the fence. First off, most of the incomplete grades I've had students request from me have not been fulfilled, and the grade rolled to an F after 6 months per the terms of the contract. Most of the time when I do an incomplete, the last time I see the student is when they sign that incomplete and they just never talk to me again, and in 6 months it automatically rolls to an F and things move on. That's a problem. Now, there's really only 2 situations where I personally am willing to endorse an incomplete grade. And if one of my advisees comes to me asking for an incomplete grade in someone else's class, these 2 reasons are the only cases in which I tell them it's a good idea to take an incomplete. The first one is this. Whatever this emergency situation is in your life, you're going to be able to overcome that in a month or 2, enough that you can address completing this class that you've put on pause with the incomplete. Again, remember, most faculty will give you up to 6 months, sometimes less, sometimes more, to finish an incomplete contract. So you need to make sure that you're actually going to be able to do that. If the situation that you're dealing with is something that's going to go on for the bulk of that 6 months or even longer than 6 months, you probably should look at an emergency withdrawal for the semester. And that's an entirely different thing. In fact, if you'd like me to do a video on emergency withdrawals, let me know below in the comments. I'll be happy to do that one just for you. So if you meet this first situation where your emergency is going to resolve with enough time for you to complete the class, the second question that I always have for a student is this: do you already have enough points to pass the class? If you have a D for done at this point in the semester, skipping the final, whatever the last projects may be, my recommendation is to talk to your professor, explain the situation, and take the D. Verify that that's actually what you're gonna get. That's an important part, but take the D and move on. Now look, you can always retake that class. You can retake it to boost your GPA. In fact, I got a video on that. I'll put that in the links below. but you can always retake that grade or that class to boost your grade and to improve your GPA. And honestly, most majors will accept a D in their field. In fact, you can check with your department chair or your advisor to double check that a D in a major class would actually work for you. Most gen eds, you'll be fine to take a D as well. And again, you can always retake it if you don't like it. Now, if you're right on the line and it's looking like an F is going to occur because of this emergency, that is the realm of the incomplete grade 110%. That's where I'm willing to go above and beyond and work with a student to sign an incomplete contract, put out exactly what they need to do so that they can pass the class and move on. And I'm always willing to endorse that if it seems like a good fit for that scenario. In fact, I encourage you to request that incomplete grade from your faculty if you just need that extra little bit of time because of this emergency to fulfill those final points in the class. All right, that's everything that you really need to know about incompletes. I'd love to hear about your incomplete experiences below. Leave me some comments. If there's a video I can make for you, let me know, and I hope you'll share this on social media. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.